Have you ever pondered the sheer power of praise and worship? Have you ever wondered how it transcends the boundaries of the physical, venturing into the spiritual, bringing about divine intervention? Let's delve into the scriptures, where we find profound instances that illustrate this very power. Consider the story in the second book of Chronicles, chapter 20, verses 21 to 22. King Jehoshaphat and his people were facing a formidable enemy. The odds seemed stacked against them, but rather than succumbing to fear, they chose an unusual battle strategy. They appointed men to sing and praise the Lord at the head of the army. Their song wasn't a lament, but a proclamation of thanks to the Lord, acknowledging his enduring love. As they sang and praised, a remarkable thing happened. The Lord set ambushes against their enemies, leading to their defeat. Here, praise and worship became a vehicle for divine intervention, turning certain defeat into a resounding victory. Next, we turn to the first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 23. Here we see King Saul tormented by an evil spirit. But whenever David played his lyre, a sense of relief would wash over Saul. The music, an act of worship, would soothe him, and the evil spirit would depart. This instance underscores how praise and worship can serve as a conduit for peace and deliverance. Lastly, look to the book of Judges, chapter 7, verses 20 to 22. Gideon and his 3 companies, though vastly outnumbered, defeated the Midianites. Their weapons, trumpets, smashed jars, torches, and a battle cry of worship. As they held their positions, they proclaimed, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon." Their enemies fled in disarray. In this story, praise and worship were not just acts of faith, they were instrumental in achieving victory. Acts 16:25, 26, NIV. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly, there was such a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken. At once, all the prison doors flew open, and everyone's chains came loose. While not a physical battle, this passage shows how praise and worship in a challenging situation led to a miraculous intervention. Reflecting on these stories, a common thread emerges. Praise and worship are more than just expressions of devotion. They hold power to bring about divine intervention, power to bring peace and deliverance, and power to turn the tide of battle. These aren't just tales from a bygone era, they're timeless lessons that hold relevance even today. In the face of adversity, one might consider turning to praise and worship, drawing strength from the divine. When faced with spiritual battles, remember the power of praise and worship, the power to invite divine intervention, the power to bring peace, and the power to turn defeat into victory. For as these scriptures show, praise and worship can truly move mountains.